How do you know if an idea is good or if it's truly terrible? Well, these two might give you an idea of what not to do. Hey everyone, and welcome to Science Illustrated. I've got a short video for you today, and in this episode we're going to take a look at a couple of ambitious inventions that sadly failed spectacularly. And not only that, they failed with fatal consequences to those who invented them. But before going any further, remember, if you like what we do here and you want to follow the channel, do hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss out on a single video. And now it's time to talk about two failed inventions with fatal consequences. The first failed invention we're going to talk about is the famous jacket parachute. In 1912, the Austrian-born French tailor, inventor and parachute pioneer Franz Reichelt, or François Reichelt, announced that he had invented the jacket parachute. This invention consisted of a large piece of fabric fastened to the arms and legs and around the waist. When the person wearing this jacket would jump from a great height, the fabric would make the person float gently to the ground, at least according to Reichelt's theory. Following a number of successful test runs where he had been dropping dummies from his fifth-floor apartment, he felt the time was right for an official presentation. Well, actually, with his latest design, he had not been able to replicate these successful test results, but he was confident that from the right height it would prove successful. He had petitioned the Parisian Prefecture of Police for permission to test the jacket from the first platform of the Eiffel Tower. And when he did receive his permission, it was time to reveal his invention to the world. Then, on the 4th of February 1912, when Reichelt arrived at the Eiffel Tower, to the surprise of many, he had not brought any of his test dummies with him, and he himself was wearing the jacket. Several of his friends advised against it and tried to convince him not to do it, but he was determined to make the jump himself. Franz Reichelt, wearing his jacket parachute, then jumped from the first platform of the Eiffel Tower. Unfortunately, his trust in his own invention was ultimately misplaced, as the parachute failed to deploy, and all of his friends, the attending journalists and curious onlookers could only watch in horror as he fell 57 meters, or 187 feet, to his death. And now from the Flying Tailor to the Flying Pinto. In 1973, inventor Henry Smolinski and his company Advanced Vehicle Engineers had created a flying car called the AVE Mizar. Smolinski had started the company with his partner Hal Blake, and their flying car was actually the rear part of a Cessna Skymaster combined with a Ford Pinto. And yes, I'm talking about the Ford Pinto, which in recent years has been described as being one of the worst cars ever made. More or less a death trap when it was just driving on the road. But in 1973, Smolinski and his partner had built two prototypes of the AVE Mizar and had begun a series of taxi tests in Van Nuys Airport, California. A few months later, they would then start testing them in the air. Unfortunately though, the wings had trouble carrying the Pinto, and during one of the first test flights on the 11th of September 1973, the right wing strut support failed and the wing folded. The National Transportation Safety Board later reported that apart from poor design, too much weight and loose parts, bad welds was partly to blame for the wing strut support failing. This was of course little comfort to Henry Smolinski, who was flying the Mizar that day, and his partner Hal Blake, who was a passenger, as both men were killed instantly in the fiery crash. Well, there we have it. Two failed inventions that ended up claiming the lives of those who invented them. Do you know of any other inventions that failed miserably that you would like to share? Then don't hesitate to write your comment in the comment section and we'll add it to our list of ideas for future videos. I really hope you liked this one. If you did, smash that like button and of course hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to make sure that you don't miss out on a single video. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.